So we've done a lot of talking about habits that we should leave in 2020. Let's talk about some things that we should bring into 2021.
You in the past, I'm in the future. You mad?
Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. If you're new here, my name is Keela Trishan and I make videos on lifestyle, womanhood, and mental health. And if you're returning, thank you so much for coming back and thank you for your support. Okay, so as I stated, I wanted to do a video just talking about some habits that we should adopt in 2021. Now, everybody knows 2020 was a tough year for a lot of people, some in more ways than others, but you know what? It's behind us now. So let's focus on things that we can do better in 2021 and beyond, and just create some good habits to make sure that we are the best we can be at all times. So if you're interested in just hearing my little take on it, go on ahead and stay tuned. Okay, so the first habit that we need to incorporate not only this year, but every year is making sure that you're setting up your yearly wellness appointments. So I'm referring to your yearly physical, your eye doctor appointments, your dentist appointments, things like that. If you are seeing a therapist or you need to see a therapist, if you feel like you need to, incorporate that too. Mental health is just as important as physical health. But I say all that to say that I know, especially with younger people, some older people, we don't go to the doctor until there's a problem. So there could be something going on in your body that you don't know about because you just simply haven't checked. There are a lot of things like high blood pressure, sometimes diabetes, things that don't immediately show themselves as a problem. They're ailments that you would need to actually go and get checked for. I know for myself, for example, I had low iron for a long time. That I did feel because I was tired and I had low energy, but I didn't really put two and two together. I just thought maybe I was doing too much until I went to the doctor, had blood work done, and saw that I was low iron. I was anemic. So things like that. You want to make sure that you are staying on top of your health at all times. I think it's really important to do when you're young because a lot of ailments do start when we're younger. So if you are able to get on top of it before it becomes a problem, it's way easy to treat and you can potentially prolong your life. So make sure that you are making your yearly appointments, go and get your checkups, make sure that you are good. And even if there is something wrong, again, you just want to catch it in the beginning stages so you are better able to treat it and prolong your life. Okay, so the second habit that we need to incorporate in 2021 and beyond is getting serious about the foods that we consume. So I'm not talking about doing any type of specific diet. If you choose to do a diet, that's completely up to you. Like I know some people don't eat meat, some people only eat seafood, or they're vegan, whatever the case may be, that's completely up to you. I personally feel like the most important thing is to have a well-balanced diet. There's nothing more ignorant and unattractive than when I hear an adult say that they don't really drink water or they don't eat vegetables. It's like, you do realize that this is your health, you know what I'm saying? So get serious about those things because a lot of times the ailments that we suffer can be treated or even prevented by the different foods that we eat. So make sure that you're getting your daily greens, make sure that you're getting your daily fruits, make sure that you are hydrating. I talk about that a lot. Like, my life and my energy changed once I started drinking the amount of water that I should be drinking per day. I did go through a period when I was younger where I would have water like every so many days, but I was pretty much living off of sodas and juice, just, you know, a bunch of BS. But you really need to like incorporate water. Now, I do know that like for some people, they don't like the taste of these things, or I don't know. It's just certain reasons why you don't eat it. Like maybe it doesn't fill you up, whatever the case may be. But there are so many different ways today that you can drink water, so many different ways that you can eat vegetables, you can add them to smoothies and whatever the case may be. Just make sure that when you are creating your grocery list and when you're creating your meal plans and thinking about what you're going to eat, make sure that you are getting the daily amount of fruits and veggies and water. I guarantee you it will not only change your life, but it will prolong your life. Like, I do like to eat junk food here and there. I don't do it as much, but I'm not like a stranger to having a pastry or cake or something like that. Those are like my vices. But I do try to make sure that the majority of my diet is whole foods. If I know I'm gonna have a busy day, then I may have a smoothie in the morning where I'm incorporating my fruits and vegetables right then and there. So even if I don't have any more the rest of the day, I know I started off my day right. So yeah, just get serious about the foods that you consume, because not only will it make you feel better, but it will definitely make your quality of life better. All right, so the third thing that we need to make the norm in 2021 and beyond is taking your vacation time from work. If you're working a 9 to 5 or, you know, a job that gives you vacation and time off. I used to accumulate all this vacation, like not taking days off, not taking sick days, even when I need to take them. And I would have like all this leftover vacation at the end of the year. I remember specifically like a few years back, one of my managers called me into her office and I thought I was in trouble. No, I wasn't in trouble. She said, listen, you have so much vacation time that you can't even accumulate anymore. So you're gonna have to take some days off so you can continue to accumulate vacation. Like, it got that bad. And that was kind of like a turning point for me. I don't wanna say I immediately started planning vacation, but it did kind of like open my eyes. Like, okay, I'm doing all this working. I'm always stressed out. I'm always feeling burnt out. And a lot of it is because I'm not allowing myself to take a break when I have the means to take a break. So I say all that to say, you do not get extra credit for not taking your vacations, for not taking your PTO. You don't. All you get is burned out and stressed out. You may have a bad attitude. And honestly, that in and of itself can affect your overall health. So even if you don't go anywhere, you don't have to like plan this extravagant vacation where you go out of town and take a plane or whatever. And honestly, these days, it might even be hard to do that because of what's going on in the world. Make sure that you're taking your days, even if you're just staying home and you just have like some days to where you can just wake up and not be responsible to do anything. You don't have to commute. Take those days. Self-care is very important. I preach about it all the time. And part of self-care is giving yourself a break and allowing yourself time to rest. So if you have not already, look at your vacation calendar at work, look at how much time you've accumulated and start planning those days out so you can at least have something to look forward to. I know for me, every year, I have not worked a birthday since I turned 18. And after that, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, if I don't know what days I need off, I know for a fact that I need my birthday off, I need my son's birthday off, and I need my husband's birthday off. Everything else after that, I'll figure out, I'll wing it, but those are the days that I for sure need off. So it's easy to kind of start there, but just start, you know, every couple of months, like create a 4-day weekend, like take off a Friday and a Monday, or take off a Thursday and a Friday, you know, just give yourself some breaks every couple of months, depending on how much PTO or time off you have, just so you can refresh and recharge. Like, you'll feel so much better when you finally get back to work. And a lot of times, really, that's all we need is just to unplug for a little bit, not do anything, and then we're that much better when we finally get back into the swing of things. All right, so the next thing that we want to make a habit of in 2021 and beyond is making it a point to spend time with our elderly family members. Now, I think it's important to spend time with everyone because not everybody is afforded the opportunity to become an elderly person. But I say elderly because obviously at that point, you know that, that they're on the later end of their life. So if you are lucky to still have grandparents or to still have older people in your family, make it a point to try to spend some time with them as much as you can. The last thing you want to do is look back, you know, when the inevitable happens and think coulda, woulda, shoulda. You know, I could have went over there. I could have planned to do this, planned to do that, and I didn't, because once they're gone, they are gone. I do struggle with that sometimes myself because all of my grandparents are deceased. I did have them for a very long time and I spent a lot of time with them when I was younger. But once I started working and just growing up, young adulthood, college and all that stuff, the times that I would go over to see them became a little more few and far between. So I would still go over, but there were a lot of times where I feel like I made excuses like, oh, you know, I'll go next week or I'll go this week or whatever the case may be. And in some instances, next week never came. So If you are still lucky enough to have those people in your life, I know right now it might be tough to see certain people, and it might not even be safe just because of what's going on in the world. But the good thing about now is that we have so much technology. So even just like a FaceTime date or Zoom or whatever the case may be, just something where you can just spend a little bit of time, have a conversation, and create memories is good. Like, it's something that, again, when the inevitable happens, you'll always have those memories, but you won't have those memories if you don't make the time. So just make sure that you keep that a priority for as long as you have those elderly family members. Okay, so the final tip that I wanted to discuss in this video for just things to make a habit of in 2021 and beyond is to make sure that you are serious about your finances. So I'm gonna keep this particular tip very surface level because honestly, it could make the video very long and there are so many different moving parts to this. But what I'm talking about specifically is knowing at all times how much money you have coming in, know how much debt you have, and know what your monthly expenses are. So a lot of times people think that they're just not good with money, and it's not that. You might just have a cash flow problem. I've been in that position where I didn't make enough money for what I was doing or for my monthly expenses, and so I ended up using credit cards to basically cover that deficit. When in actuality, what I needed to do was not use as many credit cards and like find a position that either made more money or get myself a side hustle. Now, obviously, we all have our own different journeys and we all have different situations. So I don't want to speak like as if everything is one size fits all, because we all are in different seasons of our life. And again, as I keep saying, as we all keep saying, 2020 was crazy. So even if you didn't have a cash flow problem before, you may have had one after 2020. I really just bring up this tip to say, don't ever be in a position, especially as an adult, don't ever be in a position where you don't know how much money you're bringing in, where you don't know what your monthly expenses are, and where you don't know where your debt is. You need to know those numbers at all times, or at least a roundabout, and you should make it a habit to probably monthly just sit down and revisit everything just to see if you're on track for your savings goals and stuff like that. And then figure out, okay, do I use my credit cards too much? If so, I need to figure out a plan to where I'm not using them as much. Do I not make enough money? If so, I need to figure out either some side hustles or I need to get me a main hustle that makes more money. Things like that. So again, I could get really deep on this topic. I don't really want to in this video because it's not about that, but just make sure that you know where you're at financially at all times. And if this is something that's new to you, there are a lot of videos. I know I've watched a lot of YouTube, but I also have people in my life that are like good with their finances or that have pulled themselves out of different situations that I can kind of use as mentors. So whatever you need to do for yourself to make sure that you're good financially, do that, because I feel like the worst thing is to be in a situation where you're living off of credit cards or you're just not making enough money and you get to a point where you feel helpless. I do feel like to a certain extent that is in your control. And so do what you need to do to make sure that you are living the life that you want to live. Okay, my mouth is dry. I feel like I've been talking so much, but again, I wanted to do a video, first video of the year. I want to just kind of discuss some things that I feel like are serious and things that are just good habits to take with us into this new year and beyond. So I hope you found it useful. If you did, please go on ahead and give me a thumbs up. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And when you give it a thumbs up, when you comment, when you engage, it does get this information out to other people that really may need it. If you have not already subscribed, please go on ahead and click that subscribe button below and be sure to turn on your notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads. With that being said, you guys have an amazing day and I'll see you next time.
I'm in the future. You mad that they don't salute you. I need a bag, size is super. They turned your bag, it's like I